Hello, I'm Vigil, and this is my stream journal. The day is 5/16/2022. The time is 23:24. I'm working on a program for this summer, part of the A-List program. But let me show you. So let's start to really prioritizing this summer's task list and objectives. Things I want to do and accomplish this summer. Exercise and begin training for boxing, amateur circuit, grow and harvest my pepper plants, tincture, powders, and essential oils, get my podcast script written and recorded with quality instead of quantity. I'm going to put more time into production this time. The last time it was just pilot. Save money for tattoo sleeves, and there's 3 tattoos I want to get. Publish a novel on Amazon, learn programming, and maintain a video journal. So these are the daily habits: read and write, exercise and train, yoga, meditation, take care of my plants and begin better self-care like brushing my teeth and whatnot. Maintain work schedule and continue employment, continue therapy and medication regimens, and continue working with the parole officer to do the required hoops. I will stop spending money on frivolous things that don't help me achieve my goals and objectives for the summer. I will prioritize more, using time for the accomplishment of my tasks. Instead of trying to do everything all the time, I'll focus on self-care, mental health, physical health, and training. I'll put in the effort, and then I have a whole bunch of things that I'm going to do this summer. So this summer, I'm going to work out in growing intensity over the next 3 months, and then after those 3 months, I'm going to start looking for a boxing training community. I'd like to box within a year, and I'd want to be good at it too, so here's the hopes. And I'm going to learn Python programming. I'm going to try to write another novel. I've written a couple. They're okay, I guess. I'm going to grow my pepper plants and harvest them. I have a whole bunch. I don't know. I already showed this, but I have a whole bunch of pepper plants. And we're just waiting to come in, I guess. And I'm going to prioritize my time more. I'm going to stay off the time suck that is social media for several reasons. I just don't enjoy it. And the whole point of it kind of defeats its purpose because it's not very social and it wastes time. I'll still check it from time to time, but other than that, I'm just going to do other stuff. What else? I'm not sure what else. Training physically, yoga, meditation, exercise like CrossFit sorta, and then boxing training. Mind, I'm going to train my programming skills. I'm going to write more. I'm going to try to read more in different topics that I can write scripts to for podcasts. I'm going to have to train my voice because I don't have the greatest of voices, I'm going to have to learn some basic computer skills that I already have, but I don't know them as well as I could. And so yeah, that's my plans for this summer. I hope it's a great summer. I've never had a good summer before, like not since I was like 13. So I hope this summer goes well. I plan on obeying the laws, really, I always do for the most part. And I plan on just going through the hoops, the medications don't really bother me. There's no side effects. The treatment and therapy is pretty cool. I'm doing my own therapy alongside of it with these video journals and the exposure therapy and whatnot, and basic reading and writing, journaling as I try to get out all the trauma from childhood and from early developmental periods and like in my 20s and whatnot. I'm going to try to make some friends this summer, put myself out there more. I've been doing an exposure therapy thing at the coffee shop for about 3 months now. Super helpful. So is work. I used to associate other people with traumatic thoughts. I don't really do that anymore. We've had an extinction of the conditioned stimuli. And so I'm going to work on that. It'd be cool to find people who are interested in what I'm doing. they themselves have their own paths. And like, but I think this summer I'm going to try to focus more on introspection, which means I have to ignore other people for a while. Not to be in a rude about it, but there's so much coercion in the name of cohesion. It's really retarded. Yeah, so I'm gonna tune everyone out who's not a part of who's not assisting me in my agendas, and yeah, so I'm gonna obey the laws, do my parole, petition the courts for early pardon since it was my own house and it was a suicide attempt. I actually have the suicide note. I'll show it another time. But like, yeah. So I'm gonna focus on myself for a while. Long-term agenda for table. I wasn't taking my business very seriously. I'm gonna start doing that. Like I have no revenue because I deleted all my writings before publishing them. Can't find a single copy of my writings. So there was 4 years of writings that gone, and it's okay. I'll just start fresh. I want to write a manuscript. I don't know on what yet. I have several topics I could write about. Maybe a novel, like fiction. I want to learn programming, Python, to a sufficient level. And I want to box. I want to grow peppers. And I want to read and write and study, train. All the stuff I was planning to do when I first got out, but found myself not doing. I think that now is a good time to start turning things around now that I'm 30. Like the only real like inhibitor I have is the community that I don't particularly like, that always self-imposes, like sabotaging, lying to themselves, harassment, just basic stuff that the community does. I'm thinking about quitting smoking. It's probably a good idea. I have a dry cough, but like it doesn't affect me when I'm jogging yet, so I don't know what that means. I don't know why you'd have a dry cough but not any like breathing problems. I want to gain a whole bunch of muscle, get agility, just grow in strength, get smarter, finally learn some basic skills that I should have learned a long time ago, like some mathematics and some like programming and like engineering skills and science skills. Learn the scientific method better, And so this is the first year of ALIS. I've developed a 6-month plan and agenda, so I should be roughly around the time of Christmas. All of this should be coming to fruition, or like it should be progressing to the point that we can see progress that's measurable, and that there's like a proficiency in programming. There's a beginning ascent into boxing and physical strength. My peppers will be harvested, and like there's measurable things as part of the first year of ALIS. And what my second year holds, or the next 6 months after that, I don't know yet. I'll figure it out as I go along. But I figure this is the best route to take, is like small 6-month segments, and like breaking ALIS up into semesters essentially. So this is my first semester. I get to choose my own study program. I design it. I pick my own objectives that are measurable. I prioritize them, and I begin working towards the accomplishment of my goals. I'm going to keep working my job, but I'm going to start saving money instead of spending it. Like obviously I'm still going to spend the money, but it'll be on things that I want to spend it on, like the tattoos and my equipment to dry my peppers out and grind them, and like the various things that I might need as I begin to program. And like eventually I would like to move out into my own house. I'm technically in like a community house where you can't have a dog, and I desperately want a dog. So yeah, that's my first semester of ALIS. This program is never ending, but like hopefully after a year or 6 months I'll see that it's effective. I can continue into the next 6 months. And there's all sorts of things that can inhibit it, interrupt it. Priorities might change. I'm going to try not to change my priorities, but, like the cops might mess with me. I might get framed again. I might get harassed, or like I might get seriously ill. All sorts of shit could happen, but I'll roll with the punches, and I'll just try to do the best I can, I guess. Stay motivated even when everything seems hopeless. The best time to learn willpower is when you're so demotivated that you can't continue. And like willpower is an essential part of the human component. It's like it it's something that you if you're in hell, that's the time to begin writing and reading. When you have no future and you're on fire, that's when you should learn how to read and write, like truly read and write. And it's kind of what I did. I wasn't on fire, but I was being drugged and electroded and like held in a cage. And like that's really when you learn post-conventional ethics too. I talked about this before in another video. Like conventional ethics masks itself as post-conventional, but post-conventional ethics is like at the start of it, before you've rationalized and read about other different philosophies. Like it's vicious, it's cruel, it's hateful, and it's your own rationalization of ethics. But yeah. So like I guess uh, those are my agendas for the next 6 months to a year: boxing, peppers, programming, podcast, journal, and manuscripts. I'm gonna take my business seriously now. I'm gonna open up a bank account. I'm gonna put like some money in it. I'm gonna run a ledger. I'll do taxes, um, and I'll try to. I might even do merchandise, drop shipping, and whatnot. And I'm gonna look for a community within this community that's not shitty, like the general public seems to be. I'm gonna obey the laws, do my parole, stay off drugs, stay away from things that would get me in trouble, and just work my way through all of this. So it's day 16. I started A-list 13 days ago, so 2 weeks ago. Doesn't seem like that long. I started working out. I've been working out consistently now for a week. Yeah, like I'm going to put in the effort and time, and hopefully this journal will reflect that. And this is like a lifetime journal essentially, so that like one, it gives me the illusion of having control over my persona, which is ironically trying to expose my psyche as a form of therapy. But I'm going to tune out the stuff that doesn't, it's not, stuff that's not edifying anymore. I subjected myself to a lot of people's opinions that were super hateful, and they're hateful just to be hateful. There's no merit in the criticism. It's not even criticism, it's just petty insults. It's like, I don't know, I don't see, our society sucks. So I guess I'm going to dive into books, find a local social network, not network, but like social community. I'm going to focus more on developing myself and accomplishing these goals, which these are things I wanted to do when I was younger: boxing, programming, maybe not a podcast or journal, but like peppers and stuff, growing stuff. I don't know, like there seems to be a sense of hopelessness in the air at all times in this place, and it's masked with politeness and humor. But like I would rather, like I said, train myself for opportunities that don't yet exist, opening the door for them, opportunities and whatnot, by training for them, rather than say, well, all is hopeless and just give up. It seems foolish. You should die trying to do something that comes after the day after you die, after your death. Like, let me rephrase that. So, like, you should, whatever you're training for, you should have the motivation to continue training up until the day you die for something that you know is going to happen the day after you die. That makes sense. Like you push through all the demotivation and you just continue to self-educate, read, write, train, yoga, exercise, explore, contemplate, meditate, and just keep going, essentially. No matter how grim things look, things may not get better, but they'll always play out. You'll get a hand. It may be a shitty hand that you're dealt, and it may not get you the things you aspire to get, but like, the harder you train yourself, the better you can play your hand. And like, it will play out. Like, the future is written, or like, the future is character is destiny. So like, the, who you are, there's fate and destiny. Destiny is like your character. Like, if you're born to do something and it's a natural ability, that's kind of like, or it's something that you train into yourself, I guess. I'm not sure. I'll think more about this concept before I go deep into it. But like, persevere, I guess, is what I would say to you. Persevere through all of it. Train yourself, be the best, and play out your hand. Play out your hand, because like, the only time you should ever stop pushing forward is when you're literally non-existent. Like, if you're conscious and you are able to continue thinking and doing, then you're not out. Like, the world, like, things change so rapidly, so fast, in such unexpected ways that like, even things that are foreseeable have nuances to them that you don't perceive until you get there. And like, prepare for everything. Use statistical probabilities so you know what to prioritize. Pursue your interests. Get a general, though, cross-discipline training in everything. Remain curious and just keep pushing forward indefinitely until you cease to exist, essentially. And then when you come back into existence from ceasing to exist, because God in His divine wisdom decides to do it, to bring you back, like, just keep going again. Like, develop a willpower in you that is literally unstoppable. Like, even if you're running in place, don't stop moving. Just keep moving forward and keep trying to progress and develop and train and learn with an open mind and an open heart. You'll find betrayal, heartache, suffering, and like, these are things that are meant to be overcome, essentially. To develop within you a stronger sense of who you are, and it's who you choose to be that is who you are, and there's nothing that you can't accomplish.